realised, right, the stations are playing our songs, we're getting booked for lots of things. When did you start to notice all the politics and the maybe not so...
I mean, the politics have been there from day one. Like, it's a constant fight, and I think accepting that it's always going to be a fight is part of the journey as well. You don't suddenly wake up and go, right, the fight is done. Like, even to this day, to this very moment now, at 36, putting a record out on my own independent label, I'm still fighting. I'm still trying to break down barriers. I'm still trying to make my mark, you know, as an artist or whatever I'm trying to do. So it doesn't end, but it's what you realise is that that's part of the journey. That is part of it. It comes with the territory. And we are in the business of music. Yeah. So it's just striking that balance between being a smart business person and being a creative. And when you're a creative person, it's that push and pull. It's quite difficult. Yeah.
So in the band, were there ever any bust-ups? Because, you know,
yeah.
not like fights. Good friends.
Not physical fights. No. Probably offered it. We probably got
offered it out.
Probably, maybe once or twice. But it's the only way I can describe being in a band. It's like being on the road with your siblings, who you love, but you want to, right? Yeah. You love your siblings. You fight for them. You die for them. But they get on your nerves. So that is exactly the same dynamic, except you don't actually get a break. Did it ever? Because we were together every single day for, oh my God, nearly 8 years.
So did it ever get to a point where you wanted to, say, that's it, I'm going, before you actually split?
Yeah. I remember being in America and calling up my mum, going, I need to come home. I've had enough, I'm done. And when I look back, I can't even remember why or what it was. I can't remember what the argument was about. Why I was frustrated. I don't know what it was, but it's just little things that niggle. And so there have been those moments. But one thing I say about the girls, what I loved about our dynamic, the respect that we had and the way we were so professional. Like, we would never air dirty laundry. We would always be united front. So even if one of us was annoying the other one, we would still be solid together. And that's why we've still got a friendship to this day.
So how did you come through those two big changes in your life?
I think having that inner knowing that you're better than whatever's going on in your life at that time. I think I've been through so many things growing up that were far worse. The perspective is always really good. And actually, you've always got to look at the bigger picture, always got to look at other people. I think for me, I've always been really, really good at looking at what I have rather than what I don't have. And even though I remember, I was in my home that I'd worked hard for, and due to things that had happened with my ex-partner, I was losing a lot of money. I'd just been dropped. I was sitting there and I was genuinely quite lost and alone and confused as to what to do next. And my soul was genuinely crushed. Like, I remember that feeling. And I would just cry constantly. And a good friend of mine sent me an enlightening message. And it wasn't so much that it was just that message, but sometimes someone can say something or something can happen that switches something back on in you, and you go, you know what? You'd say to yourself, fix up. It was almost like my inner soul was telling me to fix up. You are better than this. That, life isn't over. You've just got to rise from the ashes and move forward. And so literally it was like I turned something on in myself and I started being really proactive, and I got on my laptop and I was emailing people and I was making things happen, and literally within a week things turned around. I had a producer hit me up and say, I really like your songwriting, come down and write with me. And I was out of a deal, and I went down to that studio and wrote with him, and I wrote The Boy Does Nothing, and I wrote that song out of a deal. And just little things like that. I just started making things happen slowly just by switching my mindset. Because I think that's all it is with anything in life. It's how you choose to look at something, how you choose to apply yourself, how you choose to react to something. And I think everybody's entitled to kind of have low moments and go through that. You've got to go through it. You've got to feel crap, and you've got to feel at your lowest to know what it feels like to have the opposite to that as well. It's important. And I also think the biggest growth happens within a person when those sort of moments happen in life. And I've learned that along the way. And actually, I've also learned, the best lesson for me was realizing how powerful you are as an individual without anyone else's help. Because I've always been ruthlessly independent. Like, no one's ever given me anything. No one's done, and I don't say that in a bitter way, but just generally, even as a young kid, always did things for myself. Nothing was ever handed to me on a plate. And one thing I've got confidence in as I've got older is my ability to just do things for myself, and having confidence and belief in my own abilities, and to realise that the way I apply myself, I can do so much. If I just have the right attitude and the right mindset, I can achieve so much, and I'm confident in that. And now that fear that I had so much as a youngster is just going away. And I've got to a place now where I'm not afraid anymore. I embrace the unknown. Like tomorrow, who knows what it's going to bring, and I like that. I'm a different person now to what I was in my teenage years, childhood, Mystique days even. I'm just more content, and I can sleep better at night. People need guidance, and they need support, and sometimes that classic saying, it's not what you know, but who you know. So I think it's like getting a collective of people together with the same focus. And honestly, what you're doing is incredible. And that's why I'm here, because I support something like this. It's positive, it's helping people, it's guiding people. Nobody, as I said to this young man, no one has the answer. Like, we're all learning as we're going along. The entertainment industry is colourful and unpredictable, and it's a roller coaster ride. And it will be the best fun you've ever had, but it's also can be really crushing. So you've got to be quite thick-skinned. And if Shine Media can kind of prepare everyone for that journey, then I think that's a great thing. Because actually, when I was at school, you don't learn anything really that's going to prepare you for the business. As I said, I had to learn on the job. So if Shine Media can kind of prepare you already before you start, then you're already ahead of the game.